Hello everybody, welcome to another video of Film Addicts. This is Chili.
And I'm Kent.
And we have just finished watching Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, the second of the 4, and pretty soon 5 films of Indiana Jones, the one which will be released this year in the summer, I believe. But this is the second one, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. Now, before we get into this, please don't forget to hit the like button, comment on this video, share this video, and if you still haven't, please subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell for updates. Okay, so with that out of the way, as far as this film and all the other ones, I really like this one a lot. It's a standalone kind of film. The characters in here are not in any of the other films, and it just seems to be an adventure film, and it was pretty fun. And it goes more into the Hindu kind of dark witchcraft or kind of dark magic kind of elements into the film, not like the other ones, which are more kind of into religion, as far as like Hebrew and that type of thing, Christianity in the other films. Well, this one deals with...
We went to like the Eastern cult sect.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah.
And voodoo and all kinds of things like that. And you're just taking him, Indiana Jones. He in the beginning of the film, he's like trying to get... He's in one adventure and just trying to get out of another one, of course, and then he just kind of lands into this situation. So it's not like the other films where he kind of has a plan to go somewhere and get something. He just kind of just falls out of the, it just kind of
literally falls out of the
sky and just kind of gets into this situation with this singer from a nightclub and his little sidekick, Short Round, which he, it's like these characters, he kind of, you get the understanding like he knows these people around the world and everything, and that's why it was really cool than the other films where you just see the same people that he knows pretty much. But this one is just like he's kind of this world-renowned kind of archaeologist, and everyone kind of knows him, and it's sort of like a comic book character in this one more than the other films. And so with that, that's why I like this one a lot, because it was just a really different kind of film. I mean, I think the girl in this one is a bit more annoying.
Oh, yeah.
But I think it kind of suits your character, because she's a singer. She's more like like a performer. So she's kind of used to being catered and, kind of thing. And so she could be annoying while tagging along with Indiana Jones and his adventures and stuff. But other than that, I thought from beginning to end, it was a really cool story. And the slavery with the kids and the whole village, the whole thing like that, I liked it.
Indiana Jones is known for having iconic scenes. Thinking about that ridiculous dinner scene where they brought out the snake, and of course, who could forget the monkey brains?
That was really cool.
That was iconic. Cool.
Chilled monkey.
Chilled, yeah. It's the dessert. Now, when we talk, you just mentioned my least favorite part of the movie, the ditzy blonde. It kind of reminded me. I think it was Blowout we watched, where I didn't like.
Yeah, but
I don't like the dumb materialistic female.
But it was
character.
different from the other one, right? They're all kind of different. The girls in the films.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I guess you would have a preference, and I think it was her way she was like written. There's dumb, and then there's like Dumb and Dumber Dumb, and that was like Dumb and Dumber Dumb to me.
Well,
actions.
That's why it started with her performing. So and it's all glitzy and everything, and you know what I mean. And she's just kind of used to like nice dresses and that kind. It's very superficial.
I liked so where that falls short for me, her character and the things that she was doing. Short Round. At first, I was a little annoyed, like, come on, he's just a kid. But I really like the way Indiana treats Short Round. Like, he doesn't, like, coddle him. Like,
but he had a little story behind it.
Yeah, he had a good story behind it, and then he views him, it's almost as if he's, like, a partner, not just some kid. He puts faith into him to take care of to handle business.
Yeah.
And even though Short Round, like he's comical and does some dumb things, but I don't know. It's more on everything. I feel like he's a more complex character, and I was really interested in that dynamic. I love that dynamic.
Well, yeah, because in the film, she asked him, "Where did you find your little friend?" And he was trying to pickpocket him, and his parents died, and the invasion of and so it's just like, yeah, he's kind of street smart in that sense. I mean, he got out of the the prison or whatever. He broke himself free and this and that. It seems like he's been in tight situations with Indiana Jones in the past. I mean, you don't hang around a guy like that and not going to have an adventure.
Well, so my whole thing was with the first movie, there was a lot of, oh, well, that was awfully convenient, right? Like, he gets himself into a predicament, and then within 5 minutes, like, he gets himself out. But those predicaments I thought were believable. The predicaments that he gets himself out of
they're outrageous in this one.
No, they're before I'd just be like, I can still believe that. But now we've entered the true realm. I mean, that movie was still fantasy. Obviously,
yeah.
It wasn't like an actual legit, like everything that was happening. Especially towards the end, it was getting a little paranormal.
Club Obi-Wan and little things like that.
But this movie, it totally was. It was over the top. We have hearts being ripped out. They're jumping out of the plane on a raft that somehow doesn't flip upside down.
Yeah, because
it just slowly falls, and then they fall off a cliff. They don't just land, and then just like come to a stop. They go off a cliff, which I don't know how. It looked like a massive fall, and then they gently fall on the water. And the list goes on and on.
That's what I'm saying. And then there would be like little moments of dialogue to move the story along. They go to the village and everyone's dead or the place is dead, because the curse is all over around it.
I suppose that's just the flavor of Indiana Jones. I at this point, when something like that happens, I just go, it's the Indiana Jones movie. That's the thing. That's the thing. Like whenever something crazy happened, but I think that's part of the Indiana Jones movies that I don't like. I don't like that the pressure really isn't applied because within a few minutes they're already out of the situation. You almost take
into another one.
You almost for me, from my perspective, I feel like I'm taking a beating where it's just like, okay, he's almost about to come out on top. Oop, now he's down bottom. Oop, almost comes out on top. Oop, now he's back on bottom. And it's just like non-stop. Like, before I can even process the last thing, we're on to another thing. And
it is kind of non-stop,
yeah,
which was
non-stop.
Cool. This one was like, yeah, I think they just upped the ante with the whole action on this one. In the beginning it didn't seem that way, but then, yeah, they just kept on putting them in situation after situation.
What was interesting is, like, the first movie, remember I was looking at it and it said PG, and I thought, well, that's a little wild for a lot of dead Nazis. And now with this movie, this movie was also, was also PG, and remember I Googled it, and then we found out that PG-13 ended up coming around the time of this movie. Because since this movie was PG, and we have hearts being ripped out and everything else in between, monkey brains.
Kind of dark magic kind of stuff.
Yeah, dark magic. There was the guy who got, I don't know what you would call that, where they were crushing up the rocks, and it was like a grinder or something.
Yeah, steam, like a crusher.
And he goes underneath it.
It was definitely more violent. The kids are getting
They even showed, like, there was in a temple, a lot of interesting images. There was, like, skin, like somebody was skinned alive, just like, they had rope. Yeah, a lot of...
Did you think the film, because I know that we were
So PG-13 basically came out right after this came out, because they were like, okay, maybe this isn't appropriate for a 7-year-old to be watching.
I watched it, really young, and it was just like, wow. It was just like dark, kind of, Then the other ones, with all the skulls and the imagery, the fire and all that stuff. And so I do think that I just like the fact that it was kind of like on its own, though.
Okay.
And, I give it 4 stars.
Okay. So I was thinking about this one because I was teetering around. By the time it ended, I would say I'd give it like a 3.7. I'm thinking 3.7 because it's still a really good movie, and I'd probably watch it again. It's just that I think I would have enjoyed it a lot more when I was younger, but the whole like the mine scene and all these other scenes, it's fun, but it wasn't like. I guess I enjoy the Indiana Jones that's more realistic. Like the first one was, even though the first one was a stretch, I still thought it was more down to earth than this movie was. This movie
has more of a classic feel.
Yeah, this one felt more like a comic book kind of deal, and
that's why I liked it.
It's fun, but
yeah.
For my preference, I'm gonna go with the first one as better, and this one's like 3.7. So
yeah,
it's still good.
I rated the first one higher, but this one, but like I mean, this one you could just watch by itself. The other ones, they all kind of link together, but this one was just sort of just that one by itself.
I'm interested to see what I'm gonna think of Crystal Skull because that's been a while, but
Well, we always talked about also with this film how it couldn't be made today.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so wait, irony. It's time for irony because it was a thought, right? So we have Lucasfilm, right? And Kathleen Kennedy, who helped produce this movie. And there's a lot of things that are not PC in this movie, right? A lot of depictions that people would be offended by. And when you look at her
cultural appropriation,
her PC-ness at Disney, and like her involvement with Lucasfilms, and things that she's had a part in, I just find it so hypocritical.
The woman is an idiot in this show.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, well, she's not an idiot. She's just materialistic, and she's just like, this is not her world. But Kathleen Kennedy always makes the woman the smart one that gets all the men out of the situations, and the men are stupid, just like in the Star Wars films.
And then we have the Mary Sue character. Yeah, but no, it's really just the fact, like we mentioned, the stark contrast between what was okay before versus what's okay now. Things are just. It's interesting in the movie world, and then like even movie theaters, right? Like most people are streaming stuff. A lot of movies are offered on like HBO Max or other streaming services, so people don't even really go to the movies like they used to go. Heck,
because since the pandemic, that was the thing. Everyone was trying to watch movies at home and shit. Getting people.
Well, it's not even just that though. It's just I think what they were saying is Marvel movies, like superhero movies, were keeping the cinema alive for a while because everyone would go. That would be the blockbuster.
Yeah.
But we don't have like blockbuster like back in the 80s and like even the 90s. There was blockbuster movies. Everyone, let's go to the movies. I don't hear people like Avatar 2 came out. I don't know how well it did. Yeah. But I am so without looking it up, I guarantee it's not going to get anywhere close. Well, there was no woke.
I don't know. With the Spider-Man movie, there was no wokeness, or with the Top Gun movie, there was no wokeness, and everyone went to those films. That's the one thing, because all this other stuff, like the new Black Panther, no one gives a fuck about it. They keep on putting all these fucking messages in it.
Well, the first Black Panther, I mean, now we're getting a little off track of Indiana Jones, but the first Black Panther, I thought was like an amazing movie. I mean, there was some things. Don't get me wrong.
We
can go in there. And there's some things, but still, it was a solid. I still think it was a solid movie. The next movie, which you haven't seen, I saw that one in theaters. I mean, it's all right. Okay. It's not like.
Well, there's talk about the new Indiana Jones is more woke, and they're gonna destroy it. Kathleen Kennedy. And we'll have to wait and see what they do with this. So.
And I mean, I understand that times are changing, so I do expect there to be like obviously more diversity. Diversity is okay within reason.
This movie had diversity.
diversity is a good thing, right? Because some people, when they say wokeness, right, they think, oh wow, maybe these people are just want you. That's not necessarily the case. When we talk about wokeness.
Well, there's check marks.
There's check marks, but it's more like you can tell that the movie is a lot of the movie's based off of like a certain type of ideology, and it's kind of like a contrast between that ideology and the film. So the film's almost being motivated by ideology rather than the story, and that to me is what wokeness is. It's like, okay,
Well, that's
Why?
what they're doing with the new Indiana Jones. This woman's going to take his place, supposedly, and come in there and she's going to know how to do everything, and he's not going to know how to do shit. That's just how it seems to be going. But the film hasn't been out yet. So.
Yeah, so we're not gonna find out just yet. And there's movies too, like Mad Max Fury Road, right? That's a new movie, and that's doing like a reboot of the original Mad Max. The movie was great. I thought the new Mad Max. I mean, some people might
stands on
disagree.
its own. Yeah,
it stands on its own. It's just, I suppose if we're talking about newer movies that are reboots or remakes. It's one of those things where I know that over time movies get remade, but it seems like it's way more often these days rather than I can't think of brand new trilogies. Like, when we had the Lord of the Rings come out, right? And then
the prequels.
You had the prequels, you had Harry Potter, you had all these like great we just have superhero movies. I can't think of anything other than superhero movies that have been massively like successful, garnered a lot of attention. So they're just like, "Oh, we got to tap into this well again." And
yeah, because I mean, when we see the fourth Indiana Jones, it seemed to me like it could end right there, but they kind of wanted to bring it back for whatever reason.
I will close on this note. The note being that if you're really into watching movies and you're kind of burned out with the type of movies that are coming out, there's a lot of good shows to stream. There's a lot of...
Yeah.
That's what's better. Like, TV shows, I remember there'd be like one or two that'd be on. Some people might disagree with me, like, because Lost went in one direction, but there was always like one or two big TV shows. Like, everyone would watch Breaking Bad. But now you have so many great TV shows to stream, or streaming shows.
Many.
No, there's a lot. Like on Amazon Prime. I mean, Yellowstone maybe recently isn't as great as it was, but Yellowstone was going great. Snowfall. I can go on and on. There's a lot of good shows out there. Yeah, the Peripheral. Just a lot of good stuff. Heck, The Boys is also on Amazon Prime.
You know what? I stopped watching that for a while. I gotta, catch up on that one.
Yeah. So that's just a little piece of advice. If you're just saying, I'm sick of going to the movies, there aren't any good movies, probably do a little trial. Do a little trial run on some streaming services. Look up some shows that people are giving a lot of praise to. Check it out. If you don't have a lot of shows that you enjoy during that 14-day trial or whatever, then I guess go with the trial or go with the service that works for you, because these movies nowadays aren't all that.
No. And with that, we'll shut up, but Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, 4 stars.
3.7.
Okay.
Still a good movie.
Leave a comment below. What are your thoughts? And we'll see you guys on the next film. Bye.
Later. Peace.